I just picked up this awesome keyless entry by Dermum, and I'm going to show you how to install it. The packaging makes this task pretty easy. You have your numbered packages that have the keys and the bolts and the lock in it. You have your levers. Then you have your main boxes for the inside and outside. And then you have your instruction manual. Inside the instruction manual, you have this template that helps you cut a perfect hole if you need to cut holes. You have a diagram that shows how it needs to be installed. Then you have the installation guide and the quick start manual. They have it all laid out and everything is there to help you be successful with the installation. For step number 1, we'll start with bag number 1. Bag number 1 has your latch in it. It also has the plate and some screws if you need that. Now we didn't need the plate because my door already had a plate on it. So I'm just going to take the latch and the screws and we'll install that. When installing the latch, you want to install it in the right direction. So make sure the smooth part that has kind of an angle on it is angled the correct way. Make sure it slides on that plate just like you see here. That's what you want. So after doing that short test, I found that the angled part needs to be toward me to have it slide like that. So we'll slide it in so that the angled part's toward me, and then we'll screw in the top and the bottom of the latch. Also, one thing to note with this install, if you have a deadbolt lock, you'll need to install this where the deadbolt goes. And then you install the deadbolt on the bottom. That way they won't get in the way of each other. For step number 2, we'll use bag number 2. Bag number 2 has a bunch of screws in it that are for a variety of uses. There are some inside screws, some backup screws, and then this one that says ×3 on it, there are 3 bags of those. And you'll use the one depending on how thick your door is. So they have smaller ones and then just medium-sized ones and really long ones. To figure out which screw we're going to need, we're going to take the mounting plate. The mounting plate is this back plate that's on the front panel. So we'll take the mounting plate, we'll stick it on the door where it would normally go, and we'll put one of those screws into it to test to see how long it goes. This will tell me if it's long enough to use for the install. And this one is. You can see the screw sticking out just a little bit there. This is the longest screw. So on my door thickness, the longest screw worked really well. Now let's take the back panel and install that. On the back panel, there's this little wire. You'll want to feed that through the top of the latch and then just fit the rest of it right into the latch there. Then we'll take the mounting plate, put that through the wire, and put the mounting plate where it is supposed to go. You'll notice the wire, there's a little groove there on top to put the wire inside. Now we'll put those screws that we found the right size for, there's 3 of them, and we'll put those through the mounting plate and into the back panel. So they screw right into the back panel. Again, there are 3 screws and you want to just do them finger tight at first and then tighten them a little more after that. Then level it, make sure that it's straight up and down. This is the back panel. And then once it's straight up and down, you can tighten those 3 screws. Now it's time to install the front panel. Before we install the front panel, we're going to take off the front. There's a little screw on top that you unscrew, and the reason we're doing that is so that we can put the batteries in it after we install it, and we need that open so that we can put one of the screws, the inside door screws, into it when we do the install. So the first thing we need to do is to clamp those 2 wires together. They just pop together just like that. And then the excess just kind of put in the back of the panel there. There are 2 inside screws that you will use to screw this piece onto the back panel. The first one is on the top and the second one is on the bottom of that front panel. Once those 2 screws are in, it should be secure and you can put the batteries in. There are 4 AA batteries that need to go into the unit. When you put those batteries in, you can put the cover back on that you had taken off, and I put the little screw on there on top so that I wouldn't lose it. And I just kind of tighten that down. And now it's time for the levers. We'll do the outside lever first. That has the little orange tag on it. You put the lever on and there's this little Allen wrench included in the kit that lets you screw this tiny screw into the panel. So this secures the lever onto the panel. The same thing for the inside. On the inside lever, we just got to take the plastic off before we install that. Put the lever facing the correct direction, and then take your Allen wrench and screw that one in as well. Next, we'll test it to make sure it's okay. On the front, there's this little magnetic piece that comes off, and you'll see that's where you can put a key in to test it. So we put the key in, straight up and down will unlock the door, and side to side, it's locked. By the way, you can only take the key out when it's locked. You can't take the key out while it's unlocked. There is a way to have it always unlocked, but you'll need to program it that way. We'll talk about programming in another video. If you'd like to see more about this lock, you can check out my review. I will leave a link to that review in the description, as well as a link right here in this video when it's completed. And if you would like to purchase this lock, there's also a link in the description to purchase it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.